Now at 5, four-staters are getting their holiday shopping in earlier because of supply chain fears.
President Biden met with his cabinet to discuss the implementation of his recently passed bipartisan infrastructure bill. I'm Skyler Henry on Capitol Hill with the details and the potential snag holding up the other piece of massive legislation he wants passed.
The four states' most watched news starts now.
Four-state shoppers are getting a jump on holiday gifts in Webb City, Missouri. This is KOAM News at 5. The downtown Webb City Holiday Merry Market is underway, and the Webb City Chamber of Commerce says things are off to a good start, with the city seeing an increase in sales taxes compared to 2020. Webb City's Community Development Coordinator says with supply chain issues making national news, local shoppers have responded by getting an early start on the holiday shopping.
I've heard more from maybe the general public saying there's been a delay in maybe if they're trying to build a house or remodel or things like that. But when it comes to their shopping or their Christmas gifts, I think that most people were planning and they just thought, well, I got to purchase a little bit early.
We're going to hear more from some businesses participating in the downtown Webb City Holiday Merry Market tonight at 6. Missouri American Water is trying to educate Joplin residents about fire prevention. The company today donated $1,200 to the Joplin Fire Department. Those funds will be used for communications equipment and protective gear, including safety vests to be worn on the scene of traffic accidents. Money will also go toward training materials for public education.
We'll also put some funds into a smoke detector program that will assist people in need who don't have the funds that need smoke detectors in their homes. Basically, programs like that.
Missouri American Water has donated grants to 36 other fire departments in its service area. Doug, Hetty, kind of chilly and a bit windy out there.
Yeah, it's downright cold out there with the wind, and we've had some clouds which have increased over the past several hours. Even a few light little showers in our northern counties, even some snow showers just north of that. But we are going to have the clouds sticking around as we go through the evening hours, and then we'll start to break up these clouds a little bit later on tonight, which is always going to be good news, except it's going to get cold, but at least we'll have the sunshine for us tomorrow. But this whole storm system is going to rotate out of here, so sunshine returns. But before it, we bottom out into the upper 20s later on tonight. Any high school football games this evening, it's going to be cold. We're sitting into lower 40s right now, and you have this northwesterly wind kicking in, so you get wind chill factors. Look at these. Feels like low to mid 30s right now, and it gets even colder tonight. We're going to break that down for you here in just a bit.
Catch you then. President Biden and his cabinet gathered at the White House to tout the recently passed bipartisan physical infrastructure bill. The president says he'll announce a point person to oversee how the money is being spent soon. But supply chain bottlenecks and concerns over inflation are threatening to overshadow the administration's big legislative victory. Skyler Henry reports from Capitol Hill.
President Biden and his cabinet met to discuss implementation of the bipartisan physical infrastructure bill, which will give $1 trillion boost to repair the nation's roadways and public transit, as well as expand access to broadband and clean drinking water.
It'll create millions of new jobs, will grow the economy, and will win the world economic competition.
The bill also includes $17 billion to modernize ports and help alleviate supply chain bottlenecks. Both are fueling anxiety over holiday shopping as well as inflation. This week, federal data showed consumer prices are 6.2% higher than this time last year, and that a record 4.4 million Americans quit their jobs in September.
Our view is that the real risk here is inaction.
The Biden administration is pushing Congress to pass the nearly $2 trillion Build Back Better plan to help ease economic pressures. It contains tax credits and provisions that are aimed at reducing child care, housing, and prescription drug costs.
This is part of a really comprehensive plan to keep the growth going, but also to focus on those pain points around inflation, around price pressures.
But West Virginia's Joe Manchin, whose vote is crucial to getting the bill passed in the Senate, signaled his concern, tweeting, "The threat posed by record inflation is getting worse. D.C. can no longer ignore the economic pain Americans feel every day." House Democrats say they plan to vote on the Build Back Better Act sometime next week. Skyler Henry, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
The White House has invited a bipartisan group of lawmakers to join President Biden as he signs the bipartisan infrastructure bill into law on Monday. That same day, the president is expected to meet virtually with the leader of China to discuss competing interests between the two countries. Attorneys gathered in Houston today to announce lawsuits on behalf of more than 100 victims of the Astroworld concert. 9 people died when the crowd got out of control during rapper Travis Scott's performance. Hundreds more were injured. Lawyers for the victims blame the organizers and say the concert never should have been approved. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken today says all U.S. citizens in Afghanistan who currently want to leave have had an opportunity to do so. The U.S. government has been working to help U.S. citizens evacuate since August 31st, when the U.S. military force withdrew from Afghanistan. Blinken says the effort to evacuate U.S. citizens is ongoing. A State Department spokesperson says there are now a couple of hundred U.S. citizens who do not want to or are not currently ready to depart. Still ahead, making the old new again.
Turning your gas guzzler electric. I'm Ian Lee with why some of the newest electric cars on the road are also some of the oldest.
And next in Health Watch, how an artist is using his talents to spread love ahead of World Kindness Day. Topping today's Health Watch, a new study finds COVID-19 has caused troubling delays in catching cancer in children and young people. A study at the University of Oxford says during the first wave of the pandemic, the number of cancers found in young patients dropped 17% compared to previous years. By the time they were diagnosed, those patients were twice as likely to have already been admitted to intensive care. U.S. COVID-19 hospitalizations reached a near all-time pandemic high this September, but have started to plateau in recent weeks. That's according to recent data from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. Data shows COVID-19 hospitalizations are down to about 47,000. It's about the same as last week and a 6% decline from 2 weeks ago. But in colder weather states, hospitalizations are trending up again. 11 states have seen increases over the past week. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention is warning people about measles. The agency says the highly contagious virus is once again a global threat. It's because some 22 million babies around the world missed getting a measles vaccine during the pandemic. The CDC estimates the measles vaccine prevents more than 30 million deaths each year. Still, more than 60,000 people die each year from measles, and most of those deaths are among young children. Tomorrow is World Kindness Day, a chance for people all around the globe to do something good for someone else. Naomi Ruckham shows us how one artist is spreading kindness and why it can make all of us a little happier.
Jason Naylor's mantra is kindness.
The work that I do makes me feel good, and I want to share that with other people.
Through vibrant colors on walls across the country, his message shines bright.
When someone walks by this mural, what do you hope they see, feel, think?
When people see my work, when they walk by it, I want them to feel joy. I want it to kind of pull them from their troubles.
You don't have to be an accomplished artist to spread the word this World Kindness Day. Kindness.org research director Dr. Oliver Scott Curry says even a small gesture can go a long way.
We found that some of the simplest things are seen as the kindest, the most effective things to do. Simple things like just checking in with someone and asking how they're doing, surprising someone with their favorite things.
A recent survey from Kindness.org and Verizon found a high capacity for kindness across the United States, with Americans listing covering a shift for a coworker, cheering up a family member, or calling a friend to encourage them as the top kind acts you can plan ahead.
Acts of kindness don't only make others feel good. Research shows being kind makes all of us happier and healthier.
It's been shown to lower blood pressure, to reduce social anxiety, and to boost our immune systems. There's also research showing that helpful people are healthier and live longer.
So while this weekend will be an opportunity to share and promote that joy,
the world needs it, not just Saturday, but always.
It's also a reminder we don't need a special day or reason to be kind. Naomi Ruckham, CBS News, New York.
In honor of World Kindness Day, artist Jason Naylor and collaborator Mansell Lindsay are taking their mural to the blockchain. The piece will go up for auction on an NFT platform, and half of the money raised will be donated to kindness.org. Even during a global pandemic, exercise may be the key to better mental health. A study at Kaiser Permanente found people who exercised more during the initial lockdowns experienced less anxiety and depression. And the same goes for people who spent more time outdoors. Researchers say the findings show parks and nature areas should remain open during public health emergencies. And that is a look at today's health news. A little bit later, a new report on job openings in September.
Plus, it's getting even colder outside for us as we go through the evening hours. We're going to take a look at that coming up. Well, it actually turned out to be a very cold day for us today. A little bit of sunshine during the morning hours after a few showers last night, and then the clouds kind of rolled right back in during the afternoon. Temperatures have been chilly, to say the least. Then you factor in the wind, but most of us right now are sitting into lower 40s. Mid-40s once you get in our southwestern counties and northeastern parts of Oklahoma, but overall it's just cold. It's about 16, 17 degrees below where we should be for this time of the year. Plus, it's been windy. We've had the northwesterly winds at about 10 to 15. Then we've been getting gusts at times upwards of 30 miles per hour. So when we get those gusts, the wind chill drops across the region, but we are getting wind chill factors right now at near freezing, 32 to 34, 35 degrees. So if you are heading out to any playoff football games during the evening hours, bundle up because it's definitely going to be cold. Cloudy skies. We are dry. Currently, it's 42. Winds at about 15 miles per hour, and then we've had the gust at 23 miles per hour. And through the evening hours, we'll slide back through the 30s and then down into the upper 20s later on tonight. So we're going to have a pretty good freeze across the region by the time you wake up tomorrow morning. A few light little sprinkles, mainly in our northern counties, but most of us just cloudy skies. The clouds will stick around as we go through the evening hours. As this wave passes by, we'll break back out, and this is going to be our sunshine once again for us tomorrow. But the reason it's so cold, look at our jet stream. You can see it dips way down into the southern parts of the plains, and then we keep getting these little waves that ride right along the jet stream. So we'll get another one tomorrow night into Sunday morning. All right, let's go through time. Through the overnight hours, we clear out, but that allows our temperatures to drop into the upper 20s by the morning hours. A little bit warmer for us tomorrow. It's not going to be warm, but a little bit warmer. I think we should go into the lower 50s. 28 to start, 47 by noon, high temp of 52. The winds will switch from the northwest to the southwest by the time we head into the afternoon hours. Tomorrow night, some clouds thicken back up. This next wave mainly stays to our north. I wouldn't be surprised if we get a few random showers in here by Sunday morning, and then Sunday afternoon looks okay. We're going to have partly sunny skies and a little bit warmer as we go into the mid 50s for highs. But by the time we head into Monday morning, look at the winds. They switch around back toward the south. That's going to help us out. That's going to allow our temperatures to start to warm back up on Monday into Tuesday. In fact, we're going to be in the 70s by Tuesday. We get a weak system that moves in on Wednesday with a few showers, cool down on Thursday once again, and then rain chances increase again by the time we head into next Friday. So those are the two systems we'll keep our eyes on for next week. 52 tomorrow, but a very cold start, 28 degrees, only down to 40 tomorrow night. 55 on Sunday. We could have a very quick morning little shower, but most of the day is going to be fine. By the time we head into Monday, 63, 70 on Tuesday, 67 on Wednesday, some showers, and then cooling back down late next week.
There's some local football action tonight. People better bundle up if they're going to go.
It's going to be chilly. It's the wind. It just cuts right through you.
Yes, it does. Thanks, Doug. Coming up, driving classic cars into the future. First, though, we honor a local veteran. Gola Mealy served in the U.S. Army from 1941 to 1944 as part of a mobile nurse unit. Carthage, Missouri native was stationed in France, Germany, and Belgium. And we salute 2nd Lieutenant Gola Mealy, a 4-state hero. You know, you can learn about lots of other heroes, thousands of them from all across this area. You can also submit a hero of your own anytime. We're always looking for new ones. Just go to our website. It's KOAMnewsnow.com. Topping today's Consumer Watch, there are 10.4 million U.S. jobs waiting to be filled. That's according to a new report on September job openings from the Labor Department. But job seekers, they do definitely have the upper hand still, with a record 4.4 million people quitting, showing confidence in the economy. A new prescription for Johnson & Johnson as it announces a split into two companies. One will focus on its consumer business, which sells Band-Aids and baby powder. The other will focus on its faster-growing business, pharmaceuticals and medical devices. That division will retain the J&J name. The spin-off is expected within the next 2 years. Get ready to pony up if you're in the market for a new car. According to Kelley Blue Book, the average price of a new vehicle tops $46,000 this year. That's up nearly 13% from a year ago. Prices are higher in part due to demand for bigger vehicles and tight supply plaguing the industry. Electric cars are growing more popular, but some drivers, they just can't bear to part with their old classics. Well, reporter Ian Lee shows us how one mechanic in London is steering vintage vehicles into the future.
On the surface, they look like any classic cars. You can't see what makes them special, and you can't hear it either.
Smooth and quiet is what electricity does perfectly.
But peek under the hood, and you can see how Matthew Quitter converts classic cars into electric rides at his London-based garage.
We have customers from all over the world.
Converting gas guzzlers helps the environment, especially since more than 1 million cars in the UK end up on the scrap heap every year.
Scrapping cars is not a good thing to do. It's sort of fairly well known now that half of a car's lifetime CO2 output is during manufacture.
We took a ride in his electric 1953 Morris Minor.
You become slightly more aware of how stinky a lot of other cars are.
Gearheads might find his conversions sacrilege, but rest assured, the charm remains.
Bit's just fallen off.
a little bit of a classic car issue.
Exactly.
Guy Wilner didn't have a problem swapping motors in his 1969 Land Rover Series 2A. The electric touch didn't disappoint.
Oh, it's brilliant fun. It's brilliant fun. It's absolutely hilarious. I mean, it's a hilarious car.
Converting a car with used parts from crashed electric vehicles can set you back at least 30 grand. But for Matthew, it's not just about the money.
Once they get in the car and it's converted, you get a big EV grin, and that's it. They're never going back.
Leaving gas in the rearview mirror as they drive their converted classics into the 21st century. Ian Lee, CBS News, London.
Seems even James Bond is going green. The company Lunaz is converting a limited number of 007's classic Aston Martins with electric power. Final check of the forecast up next. Up next on the CBS Evening News, former Donald Trump aide Steve Bannon is indicted for contempt of Congress. Then on KOAM News at 6, we're going to have more on local shoppers getting a head start on their holiday gift lists. Plus, an exhibit at Pitt State highlights the work of incarcerated artists. And Webb City and Carthage football facing off for the district championship. Sports director Jacob Leonard is going to preview that game. Stay with us. CBS Evening News, KOAM News at 6. All right, look at this. A giant panda enjoyed some thick snow at its zoo exhibit in China after a round of heavy snowfall for several days. The snow created a natural winter wonderland for the 4-year-old giant male panda named Gang Gang. Gang Gang had never seen such heavy snow before and was visibly excited, began playing around in the snow when it was released to its outside exhibit. Gang Gang chomped down on some fresh bamboo sprouts in the snow after he was done playing. I've seen a similar reaction by pets and even young humans when they're exposed to snow for the first time, minus the bamboo shoots.
I love snow.
Who doesn't?
I know.
You know, and you get to go out and pounce around in it.
Yeah, absolutely.
No snow in the forecast, but it's cold.
No snow anytime soon, but cold enough to snow. We're going to drop back into the upper 20s later on tonight. 52 tomorrow. Could get a random sprinkle Sunday morning. Overall, the weekend's going to be okay. Just a little bit cool for this time of the year.
Thanks for joining us. The CBS Evening News is next, and of course, we're going to be right back here for KOAM News at 6. See you then. Let's make it a great evening.